This is Professor Joe, your education advocate. Our topic is about consequentialist ethical theory, one moral theory that evaluates right or wrong based on the consequence of the act. Think of our choices, our actions, and their consequences. Every day we make choices. Some are small, like what to have for breakfast. Others are big, like what career to pursue. Each choice, big or small, creates ripples. These ripples affect not just us, but also the people around us. Imagine choosing to donate to a charity. This act might seem small, but it could have a big impact on someone in need. Now imagine choosing to cheat on a test. This act is beneficial in the short term, but it could have negative consequences down the line. Our choices matter. They shape not just our own lives, but also the world around us. This raises an important question. What makes an action right or wrong? Two ethical theories offer contrasting perspectives: ethical egoism and utilitarianism. Both focus on the consequences of our actions. However, they differ in their definition of a morally good outcome. Let us navigate morality that focuses on consequences. Ethical egoism versus utilitarianism. Ethical egoism argues for self-interest. It states that an action is morally right if it produces the best outcome for the person acting. In other words, you should prioritize your well-being above all else. Utilitarianism, on the other hand, champions the greatest happiness principle. It posits that an action is morally right if it maximizes happiness and minimizes suffering for the greatest number of people. In this view, the well-being of the majority takes precedence over individual interests. Consider a scenario where you find a lost wallet with significant cash. An ethical egoist might argue that keeping the money is the best course of action, as it directly benefits you. A utilitarian, however, might argue that returning the wallet to its owner, even if it means sacrificing potential personal gain, would result in greater overall happiness. These contrasting viewpoints highlight the fundamental tension between self-interest and the common good. While ethical egoism champions personal gain, utilitarianism emphasizes our interconnectedness and the importance of considering the well-being of others. Here, we now consider the outcomes that define morality, consequentialism in action. Both ethical egoism and utilitarianism fall under the umbrella of consequentialism. Consequentialism is a broad ethical framework that judges the morality of an action solely based on its outcomes or consequences. If an action leads to positive consequences, it is considered morally good. Conversely, if an action leads to negative consequences, it is morally wrong. Or if the consequence of the act is good, then the act is also good. Or if the consequence of the act is bad, then the action is also bad. While this approach may seem straightforward, it can lead to complex dilemmas. Consider the trolley problem, a classic thought experiment in ethics. A runaway trolley is hurtling towards 5 unsuspecting people. You have the opportunity to pull a lever, diverting the trolley onto a sidetrack where it will kill only one person. From a utilitarian perspective, pulling the lever seems like a moral choice. Sacrificing one life to save 5 maximizes overall happiness. However, this decision involves actively causing harm, even if it results in a net positive outcome. This complexity highlights the ethical challenges of judging actions solely on their consequences. Ethical egoism might appear inherently selfish. However, some argue that pursuing one's self-interest can ultimately benefit society. This argument rests on the idea that individual ambition and innovation drive progress. Individuals who are free to pursue their goals contribute to a dynamic and prosperous society. For example, entrepreneurs who create successful businesses benefit themselves financially, provide jobs, and contribute to the economy. Similarly, artists and scientists who pursue their passions enrich society with their creativity and innovations. However, this argument has its limitations. Unfettered self-interest can lead to exploitation, inequality, and environmental degradation. If not tempered by ethical considerations, the pursuit of profit can result in harmful practices that benefit the few at the expense of the many. The key, perhaps, lies in finding a balance between self-interest and the well-being of others. This involves recognizing that our actions have consequences that extend beyond ourselves. It requires cultivating empathy and a sense of responsibility for the world around us. Consequentialism, focusing on outcomes, offers a seemingly straightforward approach to ethical decision-making. However, as we have seen, judging actions solely on their consequences can lead to complex dilemmas. One criticism of consequentialism is its potential to justify actions that are typically considered morally wrong. The stealing of Robin Hood from the rich is inherently wrong, but the consequence was that it helped the poor in the community. So it would be very utilitarian to judge the stealing of Robin Hood as morally justifiable because it helped other people. Or take this case, if lying would lead to a greater overall good, a strict consequentialist might argue that lying is the morally right choice. Can we support this moral theory? What's wrong with this moral theory? What is your thought on this, Daindi? The end justifies the means. Some takeaways. First, consequentialism challenges our intuitive understanding of whether we can predict our future. If not, predicting the future is inherently difficult. An action with seemingly positive intentions might have unforeseen negative consequences. Conversely, an action with seemingly negative intentions might lead to unexpected positive outcomes. Second, the uncertainty of the future makes it difficult to assess the morality of an action solely based on its predicted consequences. While a useful tool for ethical reflection, consequentialism should not be the sole arbiter of our moral compass. Lastly, it is important to consider other ethical principles, such as justice, fairness, and the inherent dignity of all individuals. By engaging in thoughtful reflection and considering multiple perspectives, we can strive to make choices that align with our values and contribute to a more just and compassionate world. Thanks for watching. Follow and share my channel. Continue to support my advocacy.